and really late. So thank you all for being patient and waiting. We appreciate that. We'll call this meeting to order. Commissioner Ruppert, can I get a motion to approve the minutes from our last meeting?
So moved.
Support. Those are received and filed. Do I need to call the question on that?
Just call
City
the
Clerk?
question, yes.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so let's get to our discussion items. We have two projects to discuss today. Really exciting one at 427 Market Avenue, and then one on Cesar Chavez. So,
Mr. Klutzer, take the first, I'll take the second.
all right, perfect.
Great.
Mr. Klutzer?
Good afternoon. So both of these are real estate sale disposition recommendations, and they're kind of on two different tracks. So the second one is a little bit further ahead than the first one. So I'm going to reflect a little bit on where we're at and where we're going with the property at 427 Market. So this is about an acre of property on the corner of Market and Wealthy that we acquired in 2002 for the purposes at that time of overflow parking for the Amtrak station that was across the street. We acquired that, unfortunately, in an agreement in lieu of condemnation. So it was a legal proceeding, but it was acquired in part with CMAQ funds, congestion mitigation and air quality funding that came through the Metro Council from the federal government through the Metro Council that helped us with the acquisition there. So obviously the Amtrak station's not there anymore. We did for a while have Megabus using that. Megabus is not there anymore. And so we really don't have a purpose, public parking or mobility purpose for this property anymore. So obviously we do have a policy that was amended recently in June, City Commission Policy 963. So we went to that. Properties classified under that policy as excess non-residential buildable vacant land and eligible for disposition. So we've done some work establishing the goals that we would want to achieve if we were to recommend the disposition of that property. And in the policy, the obvious ones are affordable or mixed income housing, improving the conditions of the property and maintaining neighborhood character, and then increasing the value and maximizing the use of the land are things that we would want to accomplish. From a process perspective, one of the first things we would do is, in this case, order an appraisal to determine the fair market value of the property. We do have some obligations to MDOT because of the funding that was used for the acquisition of this property. We are in the process of sort of finalizing what those recommendations are. The proceeds of sale, if we were to sell this property, would certainly would need to be used. 80% of the revenues would need to be used for projects that would be sort of CMAQ eligible projects. We're determining whether that's something we can implement or we need to work with the Metro Council to do that. But in any event, we do believe that this property is excess property, can be used for a higher and better purpose than it's being put to right now, and would anticipate sort of formalizing our recommendation, determining the fair market value, and bringing a recommendation to you to list this property for sale consistent with your policy sometime early in the new year.
Do you have questions?
I don't have any questions. I mean, I've caught the Megabus in that lot before. There is one tent in the lot right now. But I think this is great. I also know that there's I appreciate Kristen's in the back there. I know that there's a billboard issue near this as well that I know is really, really complicated to get taken care of. So I just appreciate this coming forward. I think it's a really unique and special property in the ward, and I'm looking forward to it moving in this direction.
The Commissioner, specifically as it relates to the billboards, we've had communications and we're working through that process. So we're in a good path there. So we hope to have that resolved, and hence why we brought it to EDPT today.
Yeah.
Great.
So after the appraisal, that'll be the sale price? Is that my assumption?
That'll be the minimum sale price.
That'll be the
yeah.
minimum sale price.
I and maybe is this parcel, is there a private loan parcel right next to it?
Yes.
Yes.
So it's, because I drove by I don't know, a few weeks ago, or maybe months ago, time's weird lately, but, and I thought I saw some surveying or something that was being done close to that property or on that property.
You may have. It
And-
would have nothing to do with us.
Okay.
Well, so the building across the street did improve parking across the street
Yeah.
there and did a nice job. Actually, it's a nice lot and for the new tenants at 470 Market.
There is a parcel between those two.
Oh, yeah, right. Which is where the billboard is my.
Billboard's on the city's property.
Oh, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it
Down
was.
in north,
Yeah.
that's on Wealthy, yeah.
Yeah, I wish, I just pulled it up on my phone to look at the map, but I was just trying to think. So this is adjacent to a buildable lot, correct?
Yeah, I believe, I mean, with the qualifications of survey and encroachments and easements and utilities, I believe it would be a buildable lot for sure, yeah.
Okay. All right, so appraisal and then listing, similar to what we've done with other city-owned properties?
Yeah, at this point, I think, we would bring so the policy provides for 4 different disposal processes, ranging from, put it out there and sell it to the highest bidder, listing and sale, to develop an RFP and take proposals. At this point, it seems like, subject to complying with all the policy requirements, it seems like a negotiated sale process would be both an efficient and appropriate way to dispose of that property. So it would be listed for sale with the priorities that we hope to achieve for the minimum price. And then we could accept proposals for up to a certain date and then negotiate with anyone seeking to purchase the property.
That's great.
City
I
clerk
support
is
that.
pulling it up.
Yeah, I support
Sorry, I
that
thought
process.
I thought we had a map in the agenda here.
Thank you, that's helpful. So it's this parcel?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not where the
Right.
Amtrak?
But this is privately owned up until this line right here.
Okay, I see. So it is pretty prime space
It
on
is.
the river.
It is.
And then remind me, who owns, bring the map this way, who owns the old Amtrak station? That was recently purchased,
So I
wasn't it?
believe that was purchased by the former owner of the 470 Market
Oh,
property. Based on the ownership name, that's the entity that owned 470 Market prior to. Whether they have any agreements with anybody else, I do not know.
okay.
Okay.
The
So
city
potentially
does,
both of those corners, but that's privately owned completely now.
well, the city does own 2 little triangles. If you have a parcel map, there's kind of 2 little,
Well, yeah, well, there's like 8 trees were planted there too, I think, in those
Yeah.
triangles.
And those are just, those aren't easements, it's actually city, it's a
they are
weird.
city parcels. Whether we would, if we were to sell them, whether we would need to retain any sort of right-of-way on the edges, I do not know. But
Okay,
those would, we'd have to investigate those properties, but they're definitely not big enough for anything for a public purpose.
yeah. It would be interesting, I would be interested to know what the owner is hoping to do with that space. And since we do own those little parcels, if we should have a conversation about partnering together. It's a great corner,
It is a
obviously.
great corner.
So, okay. All right, I think there's support to move
Beautiful.
forward with that.
Thank you, Jono.
Yep.
All right, next will be discussion about the disposition of city-owned excess property at 1350 Cesar Chavez.
Yes, so this particular property at 1350 Cesar Chavez, as you recall, was one of the first commercial properties that we acquired through the tax foreclosure process back in September 2020. And so they purchased the property and conveyed it to the State Land Bank. And there's been a lot of interest about the future of this property. And so again, following the City Commission disposition policy that was approved in June, we are recommending that of the 4 methods, that an RFP method is recommended to ensure the property is sold for the best development that meets the vision and goals defined in the area-specific plans in collaboration with stakeholders in the corridor. So we've embarked upon that process with the South Division Corridor Improvement Authority and their Design and Development Committee, and the Roosevelt Park Neighborhood Association, and with their leadership have made the recommendation and are making it today that the RFP is the best method to bring their voice to the process. And in fact, also empowering them to the process in actually helping us draft the RFP itself, providing their feedback, obviously with staff leading the drafting of the document will align with our policy as well as partners with our planning department to ensure that those expectations and concepts are taken consideration on the front end. And so we've had two specific meetings with the Design Development Committee. And at our last meeting, they've agreed to the final draft of that RFP. And we expect to bring that to the December 13th Committee of the Whole for approval. And then we would release the RFP shortly thereafter.
Great. Yeah, thank you for engaging. I mean, obviously I sit on that board, but thank you for engaging with them and with RPNA. It's a really strategically located parcel. We've actually even looked at the potential of purchasing other adjacent parcels that are available as well to just even make this even more attractive for something to happen there. So I'm excited that this is moving forward. I know that RPNA and the CIA is also very excited about it. Yeah, but thank you for allowing them to speak into that RFP process. I think that's a unique thing. And
It was, and so a new engagement process that we have heard them tell us from the beginning and saying, hey, we want to be a part of the development future of our neighborhood. And so we felt this was an appropriate way to do it. And in fact, you will hear from them at the Committee of the Whole. We've invited them to be present, to share their experience, and also be part of the additional review committee members, so allowing them to be part of that selection process as well. Again, this is important from in terms of our equitable economic development plan and stakeholder engagement, and also city strategic initiatives to make sure we have a engaged and connected community. This is really important to that as well.
Great, awesome,
No doubt.
thanks. Good, hopefully it'll move quickly.
Yeah.
All right. Did you
Good.
need approval, or you're just
No,
giving
so
us an update?
this is the the process, and so you'll see it at the December 13th Committee of the Whole.
Good. All right. Any additional updates?
No, not at this time.
Okay, do we have any community partners here? All right, seeing none. Deputy City Manager?
No, Madam Mayor, nothing from me.
All right, then we will adjourn this meeting. Thank you, everyone. Again, sorry for our delay. It's been a busy morning. City Clerk, anything for the good of the order?
Not for the good of the order.
Well, then you don't get to speak.
Thank you. Yeah, if I don't-